folks, to Crypto News Global. I'm your host, Nick Toka. Thanks for joining. And once again today, Bitcoin is pumping. Way up today. It's 3 days in a row. I'm calling it the Trump pump. And on today's show, Wyoming, Massachusetts join growing list of states considering Bitcoin reserves. And our feature story today, Bitcoin's on the cusp of an impulsive move according to trader Michaël vende Poppe. And I'll give you his outlook. And in our Ask AI segment, we're going to create a rocket themed and outer space style image, and we're going to use both Grok and ChatGPT, and we're going to compare the two. All this and so much more on today's show. Welcome, Crypto Fam, to Crypto News Global. I'm your host, Nick Toka, and today is January 17th, 2025. Happy Friday, everybody. And our Bitcoin is way up today. Everything's up in the green, and we only have 3 days left. Monday is Trump's inauguration, so I expect another few days of pumping. And if he decides to actually say something about Bitcoin positively, specifically talking about creating a strategic Bitcoin reserve, I expect a huge, God candle or Omega candle. I call it the creator candle. A God candle is $10,000 in a day, and we've seen that in November. And I'm dubbing it right now, because other people are calling it the Omega candle. I am dubbing it the creator candle when we see a $100,000 one-day event rise in Bitcoin. The creator candle. You heard it first here, folks. Max Kaiser calls it the Omega candle. I think the term creator candle is more appropriate, considering a God candle is 10,000. The creator candle sounds really good for a $100,000 Bitcoin pump, and I'm hoping we see something like that. Later on in our show, we are going to put the GPTs to the test, and we're going to compare them. Today we are going to compare Grok to ChatGPT, and we're going to create a outer space rocket theme style image, and I'll give you guys the prompt, and you guys can play around and make your own and adapt it and add some things to it and come up with some pretty creative things. I created the image you're seeing on the right with a very similar prompt a little while ago. So it's a good base point, and then you guys can add and add. And, instead of using Rocket, use Bitcoin or whatever your desire might be. So let's get right into our stories for today. Let's get into our market watch, and let's get right into our Coin 360, and it shows that Bitcoin in the last 24 hours is up 3% to 104,500, and its dominance is at 55%. Ether in the green as well, up 3% at 34.65. Solana in the green, up 2%, 218 and change. Doge up 11%, SHIB up 8.5%. XRP kind of going sideways, down 0.75%, but still holding at $3.24. Remember, it's been up quite a bit for at least about a week now, and it's been gaining market cap dominance on the rest of the field and pulling away from a lot of the shitcoiners. So generally, also, when Bitcoin pumps, XRP goes the opposite way. It's kind of interesting how that happens, but it's pretty consistent. And into our market cap, we've got Bitcoin at 2,065 billion, Ethereum up to 417 billion, XRP holding steady at 186 billion, Solana at number 5, 106 billion, Doge up about 8 billion from yesterday at 60, coming on to 63 billion. Cardano at number 9 at 40 billion. Tron to wrap up the top 10 at 21.5 billion. Our total market cap today is 3.57 trillion, and our Bitcoin dominance is holding steady at 57.8%. And a little further down, we'll see Ethereum also holding steady, but has lost a lot of ground recently. It's at 11.7% market dominance, and XRP pretty solid at 5.25%, and Solana just under 3%. And into our crypto bubbles for the day, we see SPX up 42%, Bonk up 15%, Doge up 10%. Poppe up 10%, OKB 17%. A lot of green in here for today. Let's zoom out to the weekly, and pretty much every single coin is in the green. Fart coin is the big winner for the week, 73%. Doge also up 30%. XRP up 38%. A lot of winners. Litecoin up 30%. Algorand up 25%, Poppe up 15%, and for the month, we had quite a bit of red yesterday for the month, but because of today's pump, we see that many of the coins have flipped into the green, and they're doing pretty well. We've got SPX up 125%, XRP up 40%, Algo up 26%, XDC up close to 100%, Doge up 18% for the month. And let's, for shits and giggles, flip out to the year. And we've got Poppe up 1,700%, SPX 26,000%. Good God. Jasmy up 625%. AIR 600%, OM 5,500%, SUI, wow, up 323%, and Doge up 450%. Pretty good for the year, and it shows you hodl. Don't just go for the quick buy and sell. They asked Warren Buffett, "What's your time horizon for buying and selling stocks?" And his answer was, well, a normal day trader, they buy and sell 1-2 times a day, maybe 2 or 3 days is their time horizon. The savvy investor, their time horizon is a couple years, 2-3 years. And my time horizon, forever. So it's going up forever, Laura. And buy and hold is a good way to make money. If you hold for multiple cycles, 4 years plus, you're bound to make money on all these coins. Certainly if there's one of these little meme coins that you might put in 5% of your money on and it blows up, maybe you want to sell. Again, this is not financial advice, folks. This is my personal opinion here. Crypto Fear and Greed Index today is a 77 in greed. Yesterday was a 75 in greed, and last week was a 69 in greed. And we have approximately 1,043 days until the next Bitcoin halving, which is set to take place April of 2028. There are 1,188,397 Bitcoins left to mine until the year 2140. And there's 170,287 blocks until the next halving. let's go into our global asset watch here. We have gold number 1 at 18.4 trillion, Apple number 2, 3.4 trillion, number 3 Nvidia 3.3, number 4 Microsoft 3.1, followed by Google at number 5, 2.4 trillion, Amazon 2.375, Bitcoin at 2.067 trillion, Saudi Aramco at 1.822 trillion, silver 1.74, Meta 1.5, Tesla 1.4, and you can currently get, this number keeps going down every single day, you can currently get 959 satoshis for 1 US fiat currency. And into our US debt watch, it appears to be up about $6 billion from yesterday at 36,364,260,000,000 and counting. We currently have 106,936 per citizen owing in US debt, and per taxpayer $323,046. And the numbers keep on flying as we see, and never once have we seen this number go down or even stay steady. The number keeps going up and up. The debt keeps going up and up. They're talking about increasing the debt ceiling, which will allow them to print even more money, and that's probably going to be a go. So the higher the debt, the more the US owes, the better it is for Bitcoin. The more they print money, the less fiat money is worth, the more Bitcoin's worth. It's the exact opposite. Bitcoin keeps going up in value because it's a scarce asset. Fiat money keeps going down in value because it effectively, when they need more money, they'll just print more money. Meanwhile, let's get into our stories for the day. Wyoming and Massachusetts join growing list of states considering Bitcoin reserves. And on my count, that makes, I believe, 8 or 9 states. So we're talking about 20% of the states have already applied to create strategic Bitcoin reserves, which is amazing. State Bitcoin reserves momentum is still growing, while Coinbase backed the idea of a federal BTC stockpile for the first time publicly. Baby. Wyoming, and you see the little meme here of the U.S. greenback. Wyoming and Massachusetts have joined the expanding number of U.S. states that may soon vote on establishing Bitcoin reserves, with representatives from both states submitting draft legislation supporting the initiative on Friday. In Wyoming, a group of 5 Republican legislators submitted a bill that would permit the state treasurer to invest public funds in Bitcoin, but no other digital assets. Why do you want other digital assets? Bitcoin is the king. In recent weeks, other states have put forth slightly more permissive bills, which would, in some cases, allow states to invest in stablecoins and other cryptocurrencies that surpassed $500 billion in market capitalization, though as of this writing, Bitcoin is the only asset that meets that requirement. Wyoming's bill is also more restrictive in other regards. It would only permit its treasurer to invest 3% of a given state fund in Bitcoin. Proposed legislation in other states, such as Pennsylvania and Oklahoma, would allow for investments in digital assets that make up 10% of similar public funds. Regardless, 3% is still something. Meanwhile, in Deep Blue, Massachusetts, a lone Republican state senator proposed a bill on Friday proposing the establishment of a Bitcoin strategic reserve. That act, submitted by Peter Durant, is more permissive than Wyoming's and would allow for up to 10% of Massachusetts' rainy day fund to be comprised of Bitcoin or any manner of digital asset. At this point, nearly 1/5 of all, yeah, there we go. 20% of all U.S. state legislatures are poised to soon formally weigh whether to invest public funds in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Every such proposal has been submitted in the aftermath of Donald Trump's re-election in November by Republicans. Trump, long crypto skeptic, abruptly changed tack on the campaign trail this year after being a noted Bitcoin critic in the past. In July, on stage at a Bitcoin conference in Nashville, that would be the biggest Bitcoin conference in the world, he called for the federal government to establish its own Bitcoin stockpile. The chorus for such initiatives is rapidly gaining momentum. On Friday afternoon, Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong publicly called for the creation of a U.S. Bitcoin strategic reserve for the first time. The next global arms race will be in the digital economy, not space, Armstrong said in a company blog post. Bitcoin could be as foundational to the global economy as gold and will become a central in national security in a world where holdings of Bitcoin can shift the balance of power among nation states. Amazing. So even Coinbase has come out and said, create your Bitcoin reserve. Love it. Our feature story of the day. Bitcoin's on the cusp of an impulsive move, according to famous trader Michaël Poppe. Here's his outlook. Let's get into the story. A widely followed crypto analyst says that Bitcoin is on track of a move to the upside. In a new thread, crypto trader Michaël Poppe tells his 764,000 followers on the platform X that even though the crypto king looks like it's on the cusp of an impulsive move, it will likely still be outpaced by altcoins in the Ethereum ecosystem. Very likely, we'll see a new impulse on Bitcoin in the coming period. However, I think it's more likely that we'll see altcoins outperform Bitcoin, especially the Ethereum ecosystem. Lower yields, weaker dollar, progressive crypto regulation, all fueling the market momentum. According to the strategist, the current crypto cycle is more complex than the last, continuing a trend from the previous cycle. Poppe says his strategy will involve maximizing his risk to altcoins as he believes they are about to break out. I think that this bull cycle is more complex than the previous one, just like 2021 was more complex than 2027, as everything literally kept going up in 2017. That's why I've got a semi-active trading strategy. For now, I'll be holding, but I'll be trading actively on those altcoins, making sure I'm lowering my risk on the way up. At this point, I'd like to be maximally exposed to risk as we're literally on the start of that upward move for altcoins. The top crypto asset by market cap is trading for $104,500 at the time of writing, 5% increase in the last 24 hours. So Michaël Poppe is going to maximize his exposure to altcoins because he believes there's a bigger upside in the altcoins. And I tend to agree. If we go back to the crypto bubbles, we see, for the week, Fartcoin 74%, XTC 45%, and in a day, 40% SPX. Bitcoin is not necessarily doing these, 40% a day increases. It's a little more toned back than that, which is kind of reserved for these altcoins. So, again, do your research. If you find some good altcoins, I still believe that, 90% of your money should be in the stable Bitcoin, Ethereum, or XRP. I personally like Bitcoin and XRP due to their limited supply, specifically Bitcoin. Ethereum has an unlimited supply, so I'm not that bullish on Ethereum, nor am I bullish on their ownership. So, and 5-10% into some altcoins, and the altcoins might do really well for you. Again, going up, if we zoom out to the month, we've got SPX up 122%. And if you zoom out, annually, 25,000%. So I don't see Bitcoin going up 25,000%. It's up. I believe it's 65 million% from inception. But because there's so much money in there, the moves are not going to be great. We might see a move of 10, 20, even 30, 40%. But 25,000%, that would be insanity. Now, let's move on to Ask AI. So, as you know, folks, every day we put AI to the test and we do something different. We've created images in the past. We have, yesterday we created a basic quick web page. We've created charts. We've created spreadsheets. We've created lists. We've asked it, global questions. We've asked for advice. And today we're going to go back to the images. I find it's pretty entertaining. And you see the cool image I've got on the right there. That was created with the help of AI. I did not draw that by hand, everybody. It is an AI produced image. So today, to save a little time, because I've been going a little overtime recently, I've gone ahead and created a prompt. Pretty basic and easy. And I'll read it to you guys, and you feel free to recreate something similar. So the prompt goes: generate an image in landscape orientation of a rocket circling the Earth at the speed of light, and then afterward soaring to the moon. Show as much detail as possible circling the Earth at light speed and the rocket shimmering as if it were the sun itself. It should show its current position. It should show its current location, and then a final destination near the moon. In the background, images of the Milky Way and faraway galaxies should be visible. So again, kind of a 3-4 minute creation. And let's see what we get. So we are going to start both ChatGPT and Grok at pretty much the same time, and they are going to work. And as usual, we're getting 4 representations from Grok and a single image from ChatGPT. ChatGPT is done, and amazing. Love it. So it did a admirable job, I would call it. I would say even better than that. Pretty freaking cool, right? And then on the Grok side, down below, we have, again, a more realistic style image, not necessarily giving us exactly what we're asking for. I don't see any light speed going around the moon. We can take its recommendations down here with asteroid belt. Okay, we'll do that. Now, as we've seen before, we often have to make multiple attempts for Grok to really come up with our amazing image that we really wanted in the first place. ChatGPT seems to get it right off the hop. It's exactly what we asked for. There's no BS here. We told it to do a rocket ship. I don't see the moon, but right when you the image gets created, it's like, wow, that's exactly what I asked for. And Grok, here we have attempt number 2. It's getting closer, and we do see the moon here. We do see it leaving Earth and going to the moon. Now with the addition of their request, which was with asteroid belt, it turned out a lot better. And then we can go add comet dust with a comet tail. So let's go add cosmic dust. But again, this is attempt number 3, and with ChatGPT, it created one image, and it's pretty slick. With Grok, this is now 12 images. It's getting close, but I still feel like it doesn't give that amazing feeling that you do with the ChatGPT number 1 attempt. This looks great. It did the lightning speed of light around the Earth. It exploded out of Earth and going to the moon. We've got the Milky Way and galaxy in the background like we asked. It listened to everything. With cosmic rays, we'll try that. So now this is going to be 16 images from Grok, and we still don't necessarily have exactly what we asked for. It's getting closer, and we can go on and on and on, and we can revise. We don't have to take its recommendations. We can give our own recommendations. Now I do find this one here on the bottom left pretty good, so let's open that up. So this is about as close as we were able to get. Also, what I like about ChatGPT, you don't get a watermark anywhere. It doesn't say created by ChatGPT. On the Grok images, they're more realistic. Like this looks like the real Earth. This looks like a cartoon. But you get this little watermark on the bottom right, Grok XI. So I don't know if that means copyrighted. Obviously you can bring it into any graphics editor and just crop that out. But I would have to say that the winner today is ChatGPT. It really came through with exactly what we were looking for right off the hop. We didn't have to generate and generate and generate. So this is 16 images from ChatGPT, and we finally got close to what we want. Here, and a black hole. Let's add a black hole. Let's see what it comes up with. And while we're waiting for that, I just want to remind everybody that money is abundant and money is everywhere, folks. Time is what's scarce, so spend your time wisely. Spend less money than you earn, and you'll go a long way in savings. If you start making more money, save more money. Don't spend more money, and start saving today. If you start saving in your 20s, you should be able to retire in your early 40s, and not when you're old and decapitated, unable to do the things you want to do. If you have a great idea, also start today. Don't wait. Start today, and things will slowly come together. Got some decent images here from Grok as well. But again, the clear winner here is ChatGPT. If you want something rapid, you want something in a hurry, and you want something that actually listens to what you have asked without having to, look, with a wormhole, with dark matter, with this, with that. It just keeps asking again more and more, with this, with that, adapt this. Now, we can create our own adaptations. We don't have to take their, recommendations they've got down at the bottom. But I still think that the clear winner is ChatGPT. If you found this stream enjoyable and helpful, everybody, please share, like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you tomorrow on the next stream.